Hello, Level 3 UAL Creative Media Production and Technology students. This is the audio project then, which is the fourth assignment that we have done together. First one being advert project, which covered 2 units, 1 and 2. The second being professional project, which was a 1-unit project, a short 3-week one, which covered unit 3. Just come out of the visual project, which was quite a big piece of work. Unit 4 and Unit 6. Some of you have opted for an extra week, in fact, with that one, shortening your time on this, the audio project, from the scheduled 5 weeks down to just 4 weeks, if you've made that decision. This will be followed by the interactive project, and then the final major project, which will be a pass, merit or distinction unit, which ultimately will give you a grade for this, the first of 2 years on this level 3 extended diploma. Let's have a look at the grading matrix, which I'm going to be using more and more as we progress throughout the remainder of the year leading up to the FMP. So you'll see that pass, merit and distinction is how you're going to be assessed for your FMP. Now I can start to show you the grading matrix to give you an idea of what a fail is, what a pass is, because at the moment, all of these assignments, advert, professional, visual, audio and interactive, are being assessed at fail or pass. So whether you've done, for example, research, little or no evidence, or sufficient relevant information, that's fail or pass. Get more detail, more complex when we look at merit and distinction. So for merit, research, be thorough and sustained research, relevant sources, interpreting and synthesizing that information into meaningful applications. So using that information to inform what you're doing, being led by it, growing from it. Distinction level work for research would be you independently identifying thorough research, relevant sources, but showing some insights and an eye for detail, and taking interesting things from all the different forms of media that you're being exposed to, and then synthesizing that into your project. So taking those bits of inspiration and then using it to inform your idea. That would be distinction level when it comes to research. It's got to be relevant, the research, rather than just a tokenistic Google form. It's got to actually lead up to your idea. That is distinction level research. Seeing how it can support and develop your ideas. That is great distinction level research. For example, this grading matrix is going to be available in all lessons. I'm going to keep coming back to it in one-to-ones with you as well, to give you an idea of what sort of grade you're working towards. Now, it's only you fail or pass the audio project, but I'm going to be making you conscious of the pass, merit, distinction criteria more and more for each of the areas, so you can start to think what you're working towards when it comes to that final major project. But for now, let's focus on the audio project. So this is Unit 5, Investigating Audio Production and Technology. We're very lucky that we've got Vicky Soanes and Dan Digweed, who are audio specialists, here to guide us with this assignment. So deadline is 15th of February, regardless of when you start the actual audio project, whether you're having 4 or 5 weeks on it. Deadline is 15th of February at 4:30. The purpose of this is to develop your abilities to analyze, integrate knowledge and understanding acquired in the other units and lessons you've done with Dan in particular, and actually synthesize that into an audio project. So let's have a look. You're going to create an original audio project. So what I mean by that is it's got to be new, it's got to be novel, it's got to be your idea. You can be influenced, of course, by great podcasts, great songwriters, great musicians, great radio presenters, by all means. But it's got to be an original idea, your idea. You're going to work in a team of 2 to 3 people for this. As part of your audio project, you will do the following. You're going to do some planning. Within this, you're going to identify whether it's going to be a discussion, a review, a drama, a musical track, or a comedy audio production. So it's pretty open. I want you to do something that you love. So if it's makeup that is your thing, then make it a make-up discussion and debate podcast show. If it's comedy, then do a sketch show potentially, or maybe you could do a panel show with different guests. You're going to be going through and listening to different podcasts and audio productions, in my lessons in particular, and doing some tests and research tasks for this in my lessons. But I want you to go beyond just what I'm going to be doing with you in class. Listen to great podcasts. Get some great podcast apps on your phones and devices. I can't recommend this enough. Podcasts every day. I'm listening to all sorts of podcasts. I use Pocket Casts as my app. One in particular we're going to be looking at and doing some inspired by parodies of is Evil Genius with Russell Kane, a great podcast, but more of that later. You need to listen to podcasts, consume and immerse yourself in that world before you then create something. It hasn't got to be a podcast though. It could be a musical track, it could be a radio show, it could be a debate, it could be a long form WTF or Nerdist style discussion and debate. Up to you entirely. ASMR has got a mensch so far in lessons. Look, if it hits the criteria, I'm absolutely fine. Do something you're interested in doing, because 4 or 5 weeks of your life focus on creating something that you want to have in your portfolio. So plan. The planning will manifest itself in different ways. The sketches, tests, demos will be helping you with that in class. You're going to research your chosen audio production medium as well. So what I mean by that is actually showing me that you have looked into your audio production genre type in detail and looking at other things like the idea you've got. Now, of course, I'm asking for an original idea, and you might say, well, there's nothing like my idea at all. I sincerely doubt that. Chances are there's other things like it in other genres that are similar like it, whether it be the title sequence, whether it be the structure, whether it be the beds underneath the actual spoken word elements, whether it be the writing of a particular Radio 4 journalist. Research your chosen audio production. Tell me about it. What's it like? What are the tropes, the conventions, the norms? What are the ingredients we're expecting to see? Are you going to conform by those, or are you going to subvert them, twist them, evolve them? I then want you to create the audio production itself. Now, creating the audio production itself, you will have access to Blue Yeti microphones, studio space, rehearsal space for you to actually create the audio production with an appropriate running time. If it's a 30-second debate show, that's not appropriate really, is it? If it's a 67-minute debate show, that might not be appropriate either. That might be overkill. So we're going to be negotiating the running time based on what you choose as your audio production. You're going to export it as an MP3. That's the more sort of versatile format that we're going to be using. And we can choose to put it on SoundCloud or stream it on YouTube, however we want. At the end, of course, you're used to this now, you're going to be evaluating, analysing the effectiveness. Was it effective for the user, the audience, the actual person receiving this? Not just you in the room laughing at it because you enjoy doing it, that's just amateur level, but the user, the audience, the recipient. Is it effective for them, what you've created? Has it delivered on what you set out to do in your planning and research? Analyse the effectiveness. Keep coming back to that word. Is it effective, what you're doing? The effectiveness of your audio project. So you will see, and I've actually put in brackets next to each bit the criteria hits 1.1, 2.1, and so on. Of course, the work will be handed in Google Classroom at the end. The criteria is here. So it cross-references, as you can see, from the assignment overview to this bit here, which is what I use to mark, as you know by now. So 1.1, analysing the requirements and parameters, the scope, the boundaries, the barriers, the room you have to actually create your audio-based production. 1.2, applying your research, not doing it is one thing, but applying it. Show me how that research is relevant to your projects. That is at least pass level. Then for outcome 2, demonstrating the ability to plan, organise and present solutions. So there'll be tests, there'll be demos, there'll be practices. I want to see all of that on your WordPress. 2.2, apply the practical skills, understanding and methods. So do it, actually walk the walk, actually create. I want to see all the tests. But even in this screencast I'm doing with you, I've recorded it. It's the 4th time I've gone now. First 3, stuttered a little bit, got my words wrong. I'm experimenting with a bit of lighting, as you can see. Hasn't quite worked, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying new ideas and approaches, as should you be. Document and evidence all these tests, these prototypes, these trials, these failings, because that's how we get better, by trying different things. Apply these practical skills and evidence, the trying, the failures, the successes. Tell me about these things. They're really interesting. Love that in your evaluations when you do that. Which brings me to the evaluation for 3.1. Analyse the effectiveness. Has it been effective, your idea? It may not have been. You may listen to it back and go, I got that bit there, and oh no, that wasn't quite well. But this bit works well, and I like this bit, and next time I'll do this, this, and this. That's, to me, the most important bit. No one's ever done, no one's ever complete, no one's ever 100% finished. You're always in the process of getting to where you're going to be, and developing and iterating and going again and improving all the time. You're never the finished article, even when you are a professional. So I want you to be constantly reflecting, analysing the effectiveness, and at the end, a vlog, podcast, or written piece on WordPress evaluating your work, please, all right? Deadline is, as I've said, 15th of February 2019 at 4:30. It will, of course, be uploaded and submitted in Google Classroom. That, my friends, is the audio project. Be conscious of the fact that this is a pass or fail unit. Take risks, be experimental. The FMP is the final project assignment of the year. That is pass, merit, distinction. Be conscious of this grading criteria matrix, because I'm going to be showing that to you the whole time, looking at you in terms of research. Is it pass, merit, distinction level? Even though this unit isn't assessed to a pass, merit, distinction, I want you to be conscious of what you're currently working towards. So when it comes to the FMP, you know, okay, I can do merit level research, I can do distinction level problem solving. So this is going to be floating around in the background now, this grading matrix. It is pass or fail the audio project, but there's no reason why we can't push you towards those merits and distinctions in terms of the actual quality of work now. Right, any questions, please let me know. Contact me in person, but first things first, put a comment underneath in the YouTube comment section so I can actually respond to any queries or issues you may have right now. That was really useful with the last project, because it meant I needed to give you a template for the visual analysis, which hopefully has helped you. All right. Audio project Unit 5, which is assignment 4 of 6 in the first year, is now live. Any questions, please speak to me. But first things first, comments in the YouTube comment section below. Okay. Good luck.